Almost the new year. Yay! And I am so grateful to have you joining us for episode 9 of Live Free with Rebecca Bush. Today we're joined by Kelly Krezek of New Earth Development. So excited to have Kelly on the show. We've actually worked together one-on-one on our eco development project here in Central Texas. And I had the honor of meeting with her in person at the Exit and Build Land Summit. She came out, hosted a workshop, and that's actually where I had initially signed up for the course as well for her masterclass, which we will share more information about later in the show. But first, I want to have a chance for y'all to get familiar with Kelly if you haven't met her yet. And so I'm going to bring her on right now, and she'll go ahead and introduce herself and also all of her great work with New Earth Development. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And you're signing in from Costa Rica, right?
Yeah, that's right. Nosara, Costa Rica. It's one of the blue zones in the world. So where people live the longest and are very healthy as well.
Well, that definitely helps to have all the vitamin D and beach and sand and the food forest and all that tropical environment, which I'm so excited. I get to go down and I'll be in Costa Rica in January. So maybe I'll see you. We can meet up. But I'm doing like an eco village tour down there. So I'm excited to be in your neck of the woods and see how gorgeous it is there, especially now that it's getting colder here in Central Texas.
Yes, it's dry season here now, so it's perfect weather. So super excited for you to be down here. Can't wait to meet up.
Yeah, so you're working on a few different projects, but your main focus is New Earth Development. Do you want to go ahead and share a little bit about yourself and kind of the work that you really oversee with New Earth Development and some of the different aspects of the regenerative projects you've worked on and how people can kind of get involved or learn more?
Yeah, absolutely. So New Earth Development is a regenerative real estate development company. So we basically do everything to help projects from starting from just having a vision all the way through to planning their project, funding it, being able to actually implement the project, do project management, and integrate all the regenerative systems and infrastructure and design. And we bring together some of the greatest minds in permaculture design, gray water systems, biodigesters, building materials, and we understand the climate and the food that grows in the area. And we bring all of this together to be able to help facilitate these projects. So what our vision is for New Earth Development is a world where all can be thriving in harmony with nature, each other, and regenerate the planet. So the way that this can be facilitated is by creating this new model, this new way of living that integrates these regenerative features and also integrates community operations and new types of governance structures, new types of currency models, and these different things to bring together a new type of living where we can actually live that thriving lifestyle that we want to. And really the thing behind it is, what I saw, the way I got involved with all of this is I saw this documentary called The Venus Project. And yes, and I absolutely my mind was blown when I recognized how we can live in a different way, and it can actually solve a lot of global systemic issues. And for those who don't know what the Venus Project is, it's a futuristic city design that uses circular design, grow their own food, use renewable energy, but mainly they have a resource-based economic model. So that allows humans to have all the resources they need to survive and to thrive, so that we can focus on our creative passions and purpose. And ultimately, that can help. Living in this way can reduce pollution. We won't have waste of resources anymore. If everybody lived this way, we could reduce homelessness and hunger and poverty and a lot of these major issues that we have today. So if you haven't seen that documentary, definitely watch it. It's super inspiring to get involved in this movement. Oh, perfect. Yes. Thank you for pulling that up. And they also have another free documentary on YouTube called Paradise or Oblivion. That was one of the first ones they did, and I really love that one. So yeah, definitely check that out. And as far as how the journey's been after that for us, I went ahead and toured around all these different eco villages. I've been to over 60 eco villages now. And my background is really in finance and in real estate. So I'm bringing in the elements of real estate investing and finance into what we're doing now, which is understanding how these eco villages work, bringing all these pieces together, so that we can create practical steps for anybody that wants to create this vision to be able to do so. People that aren't normally developers that have a vision to create this world now have the possibility to do so through what we provide.
Yeah, I love that. And on the Venus Project too, I saw you had a photo with Roxanne Meadows. I literally have a picture with her in the exact same spot. I wish I had it that I could screen share, but I saw you posted that one time. I was like, oh my gosh, I was right there too. But yeah, so cool to visit. But I went right after Jacques Fresco had passed away. But and it was like a sad time, but it was also like I could see that his legacy and his designs and all of this amazing visioning for the future was not like going anywhere, like going away. I mean, like it was clear to me that these dreams of his are, really people are starting to go from it being a drawing or a rendering to bringing that into the physical realm. But it was cool to even visit and see like the geodesic dome structures they had built out, or like the designs of the city, kind of like what it would look like. And he didn't call it seasteading, but like, using water and having like more sustainable and just really sensible ways of building and designing, and those future cities, future communities, tied back to stewarding the land first and foremost. But yeah, a lot of the folks in the like freedom movement don't like the resource-based economy idea because they're like, oh, why are you condemning money? But it's just like really radical, like just really shift your focus away from, capitalism to how could we maybe share, to do timeshare or barter, or these alternative ways of living, not just in how our homes are built, but also in how we, address conflict and operate as a society or as a community on a smaller scale. But I'm really glad you brought that up, because for me also that was a very, very large inspiration. But I wanted to shift focus then, because I had seen a post that you put up a few months ago, and it was about this course on regenerative development. And it was really weird because the timing like literally perfectly aligned with beginning more momentum on our development ambitions here in Central Texas. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, where you have ambitions for a development or a community, but that maybe it's hard to actualize that into the physical realm. And I was really, really grateful to take that free masterclass you had, because it helped to point me in the right direction for the course, the development funding course, which literally like is like a blueprint and lays out all of the different aspects you need to consider. So what are those, and what, just for someone who's never even, learned about what a pro forma, was I in for a treat learning what that was, and, all the financial analysis and everything. Like, what would you have, if you had to like describe kind of this process of like building a little community like the Venus Project, or building an intentional community, or even like developing out a homestead, maybe someone already has land. What would they expect to learn in that course? And, what are kind of the main things that they would need to consider if they wanted to actualize that dream of buying land and living off the grid and having friends and family out on the property with you?
Yeah, so definitely check out we have a free masterclass that explains it in a lot more detail, but just to give a little brief description of it, basically it's everything from vision to funding your project. So all of the pre-development stages are in there. So we wanted to be able to create this program so that people could actually get all of the tools, the templates, and everything they need to be able to go through that process themselves. We also provide those services, but we recognize that there's a lot of people that have this vision that maybe they don't have the funding yet to be able to pay for our services, although they want to be able to take these steps. And we didn't want to hold back our resources and hold back our templates, because we want as many people as possible building this way, because we need these communities to be created to create the world that we all want to live in, and to solve global systemic issues and all of those things. So basically this course contains, first of all, 5 different modules. The first one is on vision and mission clarity. The second is on development planning and financial modeling. The third is business planning. And then you get the pitch deck creation, and that's the fourth one. And then the fifth one is all the funding strategies, the entity structuring, like all the different ways to set up your project funding or entities to be able to be in alignment with what you're looking to do. So each of those has tons and tons of resources. We have the vision documents and share a meditation on how to go through that. We have the pro formas, those. We tried to make it as simple as possible, though it can be more complex, which is why we're actually coming out with a AI generated model. So you can actually put your information into a form, and then it will automatically spit out your financial pro forma. We're in the works to create that. Yeah, so that's something that's new, and it automatically calculates based on just an understanding for your area and just kind of the information that you put in, but then you can actually have that to be able to adjust once you start executing on your project. So it's really great with understanding the financial feasibility of your project, because there's so many projects that they happen, they start doing things because they have some initial funding and they want to get started, but really knowing the big picture is what's important, because we've seen so many projects struggle financially because they didn't have an understanding for what all the financial pieces were going to be. So that's why our pro formas are super, super detailed, and they go through like every single thing you have to think of, because that's what it really takes to do these large scale development projects. And so that's that part. And then a 90-page business plan that has all those details in it. And literally we're giving away the models that we created. So the way that we created this is we've worked on 16 different regenerative development projects. And so taking all of that knowledge and information from what we've done, and then also we created all of these materials and tools and templates for the project that we're working on, which is here in Costa Rica. And so that was a very large scale project. And we're like, hey, well, we have all of these things. How can we give it to other people? And so if you guys like our project, it's called Abundancia. It's abundance in Spanish, and it's for abundance of resources for all is the motto of the project. And so basically you can just take all of those and do your own project that has all of our same elements in it, or tweak them to match what your vision is. And then also our pitch deck and everything that we've already had a designer come and design our templates, we're also including that in the program. So there's tons of really, really good stuff in there. And so if you want to learn more, you can definitely check out our free masterclass that shares a bit more of the visuals on that.
Yeah, it was really great having the course and all the templates combined, and then doing like the live Q&A sessions that y'all would host every 2 weeks, like to help digest, or if you're getting hung up on something. So I actually took the course myself, and I can strongly recommend it. It is a lot. It's a lot to build out a community like this. And, we all have our natural gifts. I would say, like, some people are inclined to naturally be gifted with marketing, or really good at the mathematics of doing the inputs and figuring out the hard and soft costs and all this. But ultimately, to have a holistic approach where you really understand everything, I think has been my biggest takeaway, because there's a lot that goes into building roads and building natural built homes and all of this, which so many people dream of, that type of lifestyle. If it's cool with you, Kelly, I would love to just screen share y'all's website, and maybe you can kind of walk us through, if that sounds good to you. I wanted to give folks kind of a feel of like what it all looks like for the different services that you offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is the New Earth Development website.
Yes. So basically, yeah, this is just the first page. If you want to check out these little boxes, you can invest, you can build, you can live this way, you can learn how to do it through our masterclass. And then, yeah, you just keep scrolling down, basically shares a little bit about how they can transform the world. This one's on our course. This is on, investing. If you want to get involved with investing in these projects, there's so many of these projects that need funding that we're specifically vetting through our program. And we're also creating a fund for these projects. So definitely make sure that if you have a project or you need funding or whatnot, reach out to us. We don't have it live on our website yet if you do have a project you want to submit, but we have a link we could share that you put your project in, and then it submits for a potential funding or sending out to our network. Because at this time we have a lot of access to funding, and so we want to be able to share that with as many people. And then the next part is just our development services. We also have a free ebook on there. So the free ebook is the 10 steps to a regenerative community, and that is for everything from vision, community operations, economic models, regenerative infrastructure, all the way to community operations. So check that out if you just want to learn more about what it is. And then lastly, you can get involved through there. So this is a little bit on the Abundancia project that we have. So you can scroll through and check out what it's going to contain and a little bit about it. It's not super specific on the land yet because we've been still in negotiations on the land currently, but it does share what the project's all about.
I really thought it was good to share the website because it gives folks visually an understanding of what New Earth Development is all about. And so if you want to learn more, that's newearthdevelopment.org. And actually, Kelly, do you want to share a little bit about the masterclass? Because we're having actually a exclusive Live Free Academy January 4th masterclass all about how you can learn more. So maybe you take a moment to share about this opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. So on the masterclass, we're going to share a bit about our journey of how we've gone from, having no money and no resources to now being able to build multiple regenerative projects, and how you can actually do that as well and be able to get funding for your project. And then we're also going to share a little bit about our regenerative development models. So how to actually be a regenerative development project, how to amplify your project's impact. We're also going to share about the 5 elements to planning and funding your project. So you'll understand all of those details of what you need to do on next steps to be able to create your project. And even if you're not looking for funding, if you just want to have an executable business plan, and this is really for all types of projects. So whether you're just wanting to do a homestead, you can still use these regenerative development methods. You can still create this regenerative lifestyle. You can still have a regenerative economic structure. Let's say, for example, how are you going to have revenue coming from your land so you can sustain yourself financially? How are you going to grow food? All of these different things we talk about within the masterclass of how it can actually be possible and sustainable and even regenerative. So definitely come and check that out. And excited to see you there.
Yay, yes. So we'll put the link to register in the comments or in the description. So be sure to check that out. Also, you're welcome to join the Live Free Academy email list, where we will be sharing this with our email list as well days before. So mark your calendar. It's going to be January 4th, 11 Central, and we're super excited to host that course. For folks who are not even sure what we're talking about when we say regenerative development or eco village, what are a few projects that you would recommend that they look into, communities that you feel have done it right, or who have built out their home sites and their amenities really well, that we can kind of look to as pillars of progress and examples of how this has been implemented in a beautiful way and a successful way?
Yeah, for sure. There's so many communities out there. There's so many resources. I would definitely check out ic.org is one that you can just research different eco villages, in your area or different areas around the world. One of them that's in Costa Rica that I really love is called La Ecovia. That one has, about 50 families. They have food forests everywhere and gardens and community areas, and they are very regenerative. There's also places like Domnher in Italy. They have their own currency, and they have temple spaces. They're a very spiritual community. Places like Oroville in India. So these are some of the larger ones that I know of, and there's so many more. There's hundreds of these. So definitely check out that website if you want to learn more about it. And yeah, definitely. Yeah, here you go. Foundation for Intentional Community. So if you go to, I think there's one of the tabs at the top that's resources, find community. There you go. Yep. So you can explore different communities on here. And also just wanted to share, about what is regenerative, because some people haven't really heard of that term yet. A lot of people have heard of the term sustainable, and sustainable is basically to, maintain, like keep the same level, to keep the same rate happening, to just sustain it. And regenerative is really to bring more resources, to improve it, make it more active, make it more successful. And so it's really important that we're able to add more resources. So the way that you can actually develop in a regenerative way is by planting more trees. You can add like ponds to capture water. You can improve the biodiversity of the area by incorporating different plants and different water systems and things like that. So there's lots of great little tips and tricks you can do. I'm also Living Building Challenge accredited, so I can help certify these projects. And they have, I think it's 8 different pillars. They have, energy, water, waste, but they also include things like health and wellness, beauty and biophilic design, ecology of place and habitats, as well as equity and inclusion. So we're looking at all different areas of these projects to include within, how they're built, so that they take into account all of these different pieces to be truly regenerative. So yeah, definitely look into that. It's called Living Building Challenge or Living Future Institute. If you did want to research that, you could find that information about that certification, and definitely reach out to us if you want to have your project certified.
Awesome. Well, are there any other things you're wanting to share, or flow mode that you're tapping into, things that you think would be helpful for folks when they're kind of considering your work and how to wrap their minds around everything? Since this is a lot to think of, like not just your own, homestead getting built out, but like the construction or visioning or build out of a project of that magnitude. Do you have anything like random to share? Anything that comes to mind?
Yeah, I mean, I just know like there's a lot of people coming together right now that have this vision, and it's a lot of work. And Rebecca, that it's a lot to go through these processes. So what I would say is surround yourself with people who can support you and help, because times might get tough, or they're probably going to get tough. You definitely got to look at that, and you want to have a really good support system. You want to have a really good team around you. So don't hesitate to reach out for support, and even just share your project with us, so that we know what you're doing and where you're at and what you're up to, and how we might be able to support or even refer different people from you. We also have a regenerative development database is what we're calling it. There's over 600 companies that offer different types of building methods, permaculture design, regenerative infrastructure, community operations. All of the things are in there. So if you are building a project, that's something that we can offer. Is we're wanting to open source that so other people can also find those resources and add more resources to it, so we can expand and grow this vision. So I would say, yeah, if you're doing this, definitely reach out and get a really good, solid community around you. And yeah, it's going to be a fun journey, and it's definitely worthwhile.
Indeed, it takes a village. We can't do this alone. We definitely need connection and one another and skill sharing. So that's so important. Well, I hope you all will join us on January 4th. Kelly and her partner Joe will dive in a little deeper. I actually took the master class myself and learned a lot, and that is what prompted me to sign up for the funding development course. So we'll also share about that opportunity. And if you are just getting your toes wet or this is something that interests you, I strongly encourage you to join us. It's going to be very insightful, and I'm sure you'll learn a lot and see too if you're wanting to dive a little deeper and really engage in the course that Kelly and her partner Joe have to offer with New Earth Development.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. It's been awesome to be on here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you so much. And I know it's almost New Year's, so everyone's ready to go party and spend time with family. So we'll wrap up a little early. But thank you, Kelly. I really appreciate you being on. And again, New Earth Development is where you can learn more, sign up for their newsletter, get that free ebook. And hopefully we'll see you on January 4th. Until then, thanks, Kelly.
Awesome. Thank you. Blessings.
Yeah, blessings. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining episode 9 of Live Free with Rebecca Bush. I'm really enjoying having these powerful, strong, inspiring women on the show. Very grateful to all of you for tuning in and watching. If you have any comments, definitely drop them below. Click the subscribe button. I really appreciate you all. Super excited to roll into 2024 and completely kick butt and see more and more of these communities come to fruition, including our project here in Central Texas. But I digress. I would love to see you on January 4th for the masterclass. It is free. The link is available for you to register, so check the description. And I hope to see you there. Thanks, y'all. Happy New Year. Bye.